Have you seen those deals on new homes lately? I mean, the ones with these unbelievable interest rates and huge savings that make you go, whoa, maybe now is the time. And you know what? You're right to be excited. Builders are offering some massive incentives right now. But there's a huge catch you have to know about before you even think about walking into a model home. Okay, let's get into it.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about that new home dream and all the amazing deals. Then we'll expose a hidden builder rule that can seriously cost you. From there, we'll show you how to protect your incentives, figure out who's actually on your team, and wrap it all up with a super simple checklist for success.
All right, first up, the new home dream. This is the fun part. It's all about those incredible savings builders are putting on the table to get you into a brand new home that nobody has ever lived in before. I'm sure you've seen ads just like these popping up all over the place. Stop dreaming, start living, with interest rates that seem way too good to be true. And then there's this one, up to $75,000 in savings. Look, these aren't just empty promises. Builders are really motivated to sell their homes right now, and that means fantastic deals are out there for the taking. Let's just pause on that for a second. $75,000. That's life-changing money for most of us. That could be your down payment. It could wipe out student loans. It could furnish the entire house. This isn't some gimmick. It's a real figure being offered out there.
And it's not always just a straight discount. A lot of times they use these clever tools like temporary rate buydowns. So, for example, your interest rate might be an insane 0.99% in your first year. Then it steps up a little bit in years 2 and 3. This just massively lowers your monthly payment right out of the gate, making it way more affordable.
It all sounds pretty amazing, right? A little too amazing, maybe. Which brings up the big question. So, what's the catch? How do you make sure you're the person who actually gets these deals and doesn't end up leaving a pile of cash on the table? And that brings us to the single most important part of this whole thing, the builder's hidden rule. And I am not kidding when I tell you that one simple, innocent mistake at the very start of your search can cost you, well, everything.
You see a house like this going up, and you think the journey starts when you tour that gorgeous model home, right? Wrong. The most critical step in the entire process happens before you ever walk through that door, and it's the one thing that almost everybody gets wrong.
Okay, listen closely, because this is it. This is the rule. Builders require your agent to be present or pre-registered on your first visit. Just think about that. You're out for a Sunday drive, you see a sign for a new community, and you pop in. And just like that, you might have accidentally given up your right to have your own expert negotiator, your own representation.
Okay, so we know the big problem. Now how do we fix it? Let's talk about protecting those incentives. This is about what you should be fighting for, and what an expert agent is there to get for you.
These are the things that are on the table. We're talking about those rate buydowns, sure, but also permanent rate reductions. We're talking thousands, sometimes up to $20,000 in closing cost credits. Deep discounts on homes that are already built, and even credits to spend at the design center on things like flooring and countertops. And here is the absolute key. These things aren't automatic. They're not just handed out to everybody. Every single one of them is negotiated. And if you go in by yourself, you're trying to negotiate with a professional sales team that does this for a living, day in and day out. Which brings us to a really fundamental question that every buyer needs to ask themselves. When you're in that sales office, who is really, truly on your side? Let's break it down.
Just look at this side by side. It doesn't get any clearer. The builder's rep, as nice as they might be, works for the builder, period. Their job is to protect the builder's price, the builder's timeline, the builder's contract. Your agent, they have a legal duty to work for you. Their job is to protect your money, manage your timeline, and go through that giant stack of contracts for you.
This is exactly why having an expert advocate in your corner is so critical. An agent like Derek Plum, who has over 20 years of experience doing this, represents your best interests, not the builder's bottom line. He's your professional negotiator, your guide, your protector through this whole complicated process.
So you're fired up, you're ready to look at some new homes, but now you want to do it the smart way? Perfect. Let's run through a super simple checklist that'll guarantee your success.
Just think about it in 3 easy phases. First, and this is the big one, before you go anywhere near a builder, you get registered with your agent. That's the move that protects you. Then, during the tour, you can just relax and focus on the fun stuff, checking out the lots, dreaming about upgrades. And finally, After the tour, you and your agent sit down and go over all the numbers, the final incentives, and that builder's contract.
So if you only remember one thing from all of this, if there's one piece of advice I can give you, what is that single most important first step you have to take?
It all comes down to this legal idea called procuring cause. It's basically a fancy way of saying who gets credit and paid for the sale. When you walk into that sales office alone for the first time, you accidentally make the builder's rep the procuring cause. And if that happens, the builder won't pay your agent, which means your agent legally can't represent you. You're on your own.
So, the bottom line is this: you have to protect your right to representation before you ever make that first visit. It is the key that unlocks everything else.
And here's the best part. Protecting yourself is so easy. All you have to do is text an agent like Derek before you head out, even if it's a last-minute idea. His number is 512-788-0038. Just a quick text that says, "Hey, I'm about to check out this builder. Can you register me?" That's it. A simple text that takes 2 seconds can save you thousands of dollars and protect your rights.
So, you've seen the deals out there. Now you know the insider rule to make sure you get the absolute best outcome. You've got the playbook. So, the only question left is, are you ready to make the builder's deal truly work for you?